The hunting guilds are the subclasses of the new 5e Monster Hunter class. When your Monster Hunter reaches 3rd level, you choose a guild whose disciplines and techniques you'll adopt to slay your dreadful foes. My name is Ben Byrne, and these are Grim Hollow's Monster Hunting Guilds. When choosing a Monster Hunter subclass, you might literally join an organized guild. The guilds have their own histories and reputations throughout Etheros, or the subclass you choose may simply reflect the teachings of your monster hunting mentor, or the techniques described in a monster grimoire you found or inherited. If you're the type of hunter who strides unflinchingly towards death and prefers to fight close to your enemies, you'll belong to the Carver Guild. At 3rd level, you'll become proficient with heavy armor, meaning that you don't need to prioritize dex with a Carver build. You also gain the close quarters feature. Your skill in melee combat enables you to inflict crushing blows while defending yourself and keeping your opponent off balance. When you hit with a melee weapon attack using your reaction, such as with the Monster Hunter's Studied Response feature, or with an opportunity attack, you'll deal an extra 1d6 of the weapon's damage. Your target then has disadvantage on the next weapon attack roll they make, likely the attack that triggered your studied response. This feature sort of functions like a parry and riposte, but it can also be used to keep your allies safe if the monster you're attacking was targeting another party member. At 7th level, you gain True Grit, giving you advantage against being frightened, and you become immune to being frightened by monster types listed in your grimoire. Additionally, after damaging a creature with a melee weapon attack whilst using your reaction, you or an ally that can see you loses the frightened condition. You are a fearless warrior whose displays of violence bolster your allies' resolve. At 10th level, you can inflict the frightened condition when damaging your enemies. And at 15th level, you now inflict 2d6 extra damage when you make a reaction attack and can force the creature you just hit with that reaction to target you with their next attack instead of an ally. The Carver was inspired by powerful melee monster slayers like Guts from Berserk, Kratos from God of War, or a Witcher who's put all their points into swordsmanship. You'll play the Carver Guild if you enjoy melee combat, big damage, and tanking hits for your allies. It pairs really well with feats like Sentinel or Great Weapon Master, but you could also take Martial Adept, Heavy Armor Master, or Mage Slayer to increase that feeling that you are an exceptional warrior who is using specialized techniques. Do you enjoy the smell of barbecue owlbear ribs? Perhaps you're a fan of Mind Flayer soup. If the idea of Beholder bubble tea sounds good to you, you'll fit in well with the Devourer Guild. Monster hunters from the Devourer Guild consume the flesh and blood of the monsters they've slain, adopting superhuman mutations that augment their knowledge and skills. At 3rd level, you'll be able to extract portions from dead creatures and can consume a number of portions each day equal to 1 plus your intelligence modifier. Whenever you consume a portion, you choose a mutation to adopt depending on the type of creature that you just ate. For example, if you eat a portion from a giant, you might choose to regain hit points. Or you could choose to gain advantage on strength checks and strength-based weapon attacks as your muscles grow in size and strength. If you consume the portion from a plant, you can gain spore-like telepathy to communicate with your allies. Or instead, you can choose to turn your blood to acid, which will damage creatures that come up and attack you. This feature actually has changed slightly from the Monster Hunter version 0.1, which we playtested last year. That only had 1 mutation effect associated with each creature type. But players found that to be too restrictive. They couldn't access the mutations they desired if they weren't encountering the associated monster types. So now each monster has at least 2 mutations that it offers. We hope that makes the Devourer feel more tactical and customizable while maintaining the flavor of different monster types causing specific mutations. At 7th level, each time you consume a portion, your melee weapon attacks deal an extra 1d6 damage in addition to their normal effect. At 10th level, you can feed on a monster's essence mid-battle, gaining temporary hit points each time you inflict damage with a melee weapon attack. The Devourer is intended to feel like a monster who hunts monsters. You inflict mutations on yourself to overcome the supernatural advantages of your prey. That said, the Devourer isn't meant to feel like a mindless beast. You're still an educated expert at hunting, and so at 15th level, you can brew portions into alchemical decoctions. This allows you to share mutations with the rest of the party, allowing you to give the bard a fiend's charm, or enable the rogue to become invisible. You should play a Devourer if you put all your points into alchemy while playing The Witcher, or you want to play an outsider with dangerous special abilities who isn't quite human, like Alucard, Eren Yeager, or indeed Geralt of Rivia. If this is the first video you're watching about the Monster Hunter, you can sign up to be a playtester by hitting that link right there or the one down in the description. Signing up is only $1 and it gives you access to the full 5e Monster Hunter class, levels 1 to 20 with all 4 Hunting Guild subclasses. You'll also get invited to our Playtesters VIP Discord where folks are discussing character builds, sharing playtest feedback among themselves, and can ask developers questions. We'll also be dropping further Grimhollow playtests over the next 6 months leading up to our Kickstarter, which is coming in October, and those playtests will include new transformations. It's not a Patreon, it's not a subscription, there's no ongoing cost to sign up. You'll get access to all of the future playtests that we're doing over the next little while. It's just a focused community who want to participate in Grimhollow's dark and gritty future. Monster hunters from the Occultist Guild investigate strange and supernatural mysteries. An occultist's vocation is protecting innocent folk from dangerous arcana. Yet, occultists tend not to be swayed by superstition or ideology. Despite their reputation as witch hunters, occultists don't burn their enemies at the stake. In fact, the Occultist Guild encourages the study of magic to better understand it. At 3rd level, you gain proficiency in arcana and learn the ability to cast spells. Occultist spellcasting is somewhat limited. Most of the wizard spells that you choose need to come from the abjuration or divination spell schools. But this is because occultists tend not to wield magic as a weapon, understanding its potential dangers. Instead, they cast spells to ward off danger and gather information. At 3rd level, you also gain Counter Charm, which gives you advantage on saving throws against spells cast by monsters contained within your monster grimoire. At this level, you can also use your studied response when you see a creature cast a spell or make a spell attack, rather than just whenever a creature makes a weapon attack. This makes occultists most effective at hunting monsters that tend to wield magic, like fae, fiends, and undead. But at 7th level, almost no spellcaster is safe from you. At that level, you gain the Mage Hunter feature, making any humanoid that can cast spells count as a creature type listed in your grimoire. Additionally, when you inflict damage on a creature written about in your grimoire, which now includes all humanoid spellcasters, that creature has disadvantage on saving throws to maintain concentration on a spell. Good luck to any villainous mage trying to keep the barbarian banished, the wizard paralyzed with hold person, or the conjured elemental loyal in battle. Skipping to 15th level, your Magical Aegis feature allows you to extend your counter charm to allies within 20 feet of you, and you also learn to cast Counterspell, which you can choose to cast once per day without spending a spell slot. Some of our playtesters have asked why the Occultist is locked to the Abjuration and Divination spell schools specifically, feeling that this is too restrictive. Remember, at 3rd, 8th, 14th, and 20th level, you can choose wizard spells from any spell school. So you can still find evocative builds like an occultist that can conjure a flaming sphere, or an occultist that can speak with dead, if you're adding speak with dead to the wizard spell list as Tasha's does. But the feeling we're aiming for with the occultist isn't a battle mage. You're not an eldritch knight. You're a paranormal investigator, like John Constantine, Dean Winchester, or Van Helsing. Monster hunters from the Trapper Guild employ ingenuity and patience when fighting monsters more powerful than themselves. At 3rd level, you gain proficiency in stealth. You also gain proficiency with Tinker's tools and learn to craft gadgets. These gadgets have a variety of uses for overcoming the damage resistances of your enemies or restraining them. A silver bomb creates a cloud inside of which monsters lose their mundane damage resistances. Dread venom is a blade oil that stops trolls or vampires being able to regenerate. Playing a trapper rewards forward thinking and preparation to employ the right tool for the job. Are you hunting a dragon or manticore that's likely to attack while flying? Construct a scorpion anchor, which functions kind of like a grappling net or a bolus fired from a ranged weapon, and bring your flying adversary crashing to the ground. Trappers are definitely the most range-oriented hunting guild. At 10th level, you learn ranged response, which allows you to leap aside and avoid gnashing teeth and claws. At 15th level, your crafting enables you to modify a suit of armor with salvage from slain monsters. Add dragon scale pauldrons for a +2 bonus to your armor class, or embed your armor with shards from an elemental, allowing you to charge your weapons to inflict elemental damage like cold, lightning, or fire. You should choose to play the Trapper Guild if you want your armor to tell the story of the monsters that you've slain, like in the Monster Hunter video game series. Or perhaps you enjoy using esoteric weapons to bring down foes more powerful than yourself, like Geralt and his Witcher bombs, or Aloy's Ropecaster. The Trapper Guild hunters are not arcane crafters like the Artificer is. Magic might be employed somewhere in the crafting of their gadgets, but we wanted them to feel as grounded as possible. So this is why there's no arbitrary limit on how many gadgets you can have crafted at a time. And you can give gadgets to your allies to use in combat as well. Give the ranger an elemental arrow, or give dread venom to the barbarian. Our hope is that you'll use these consumables in combat at a natural rate that will encourage a consistent flow of crafting without ever feeling like you've got too many gadgets at one time. Let us know if you think we've got that balance right by signing up to be a playtester through this link right here. There's other cool benefits like discussions with the developers and seeing artwork for the Kickstarter early. Or if you want to learn about the Monster Hunter's core class features, watch this video here. Liking and subscribing to the channel is always appreciated so that we can train more hunters in monster slaying.